Hey, MCE crew, this thing with Southwest Airlines proves why you need to be financially independent, okay, as much as you can be. Now, you've seen this whole thing where there are literally thousands in the last 3 days, today's Monday, through the weekend and today, Southwest Airlines has canceled thousands of flights. Now, they came out and said it was because of the weather. Yesterday, the radar map had some showers over the middle of the country and everywhere else was clear. Mind you, also, all of the other airlines were flying. They didn't have any weather related issues. Then they said it was because of air traffic controllers that were short staffed. Well, again, this didn't affect any of the other airlines. Everybody else is, flying, not having the extent of outages or cancellations, rather, that Southwest has. So, what's going on? We know what's going on. Southwest came to their employees and they said that we demand, in accordance with the federal government, that you do something that you might not want to do. We're making the decision for you. Forget your religion, forget what your doctor said. This is something that you're going to do, or you're going to lose this job, your ability to feed your family. Now, here's where Southwest, and maybe we'll see, other airlines might have messed up. The job of an airline pilot, actually, ironically, that we're talking about this, is one of the two jobs that I think are the most important on earth in our modern society. Airline pilot is responsible for hundreds, or over the career, tens of thousands of, maybe even hundreds of thousands over the course of his or her career of lives. Okay, this is extremely important work. And in addition to making sure people stay safe, they also can you imagine what you have to learn continually in order to be an airline pilot? And somebody said to me, well, the only part where they fly is the takeoff and the landing. Well, they sound like pretty damned important parts to me. So, I don't care if they're up there cruising and they set the autopilot. I'm nowhere near qualified to even do that. All right. So, airline pilots, and then I say surgeons, because think about this with a surgeon. A surgeon to me is like a mechanic who fixes your car while the car is running. Okay. Surgeons, again, they have to know so much about the way the human body works, and they're responsible for your life. So, with these airline pilots, they are that is such a highly specialized job that you're not going to bring in people from overseas to do that work. The other thing is, this is what they said with the nurses. They said they were going to bring in nurses from overseas. They could fire as many as they want. Didn't matter. They would bring in nurses from overseas and, let them do the work. Well, you're not going to do that with an airline pilot for several reasons. Number one, these other countries need their airline pilots. Number two, there are language barriers oftentimes. There are differences in the types of planes that people are flying. You just can't jump in a plane and start flying hundreds of people around. No, you need certifications and stuff takes time. So, interestingly enough, the market is not buying what Southwest Airlines is selling on this issue. And today, their stock was down pretty precipitously, in fact, on high volume. Their stock was down over 4%. Now, I'm sure their stock will recover, but it's just not a good look to have them out there not able to put planes in the sky. That's how they make their money. And what's happening is these pilots are saying, and flight attendants and mechanics and all of these important people with this specialized skill set are saying, you know what? No, we're not playing ball. We're going to make our own medical decisions, and you're not going to interfere with that. So, I like that stance. Okay. Now, what you do in terms of medication and treatment and stuff is entirely your business. I have nothing to do with that. I think that you should follow, your own ideas and your own course on that. The government certainly shouldn't be dictating to you, and I use that word, I want to emphasize it, dictating to you what you do in these situations. Another thing is with this whole thing, I was on a television program debating a lawyer. These people are a dime a dozen. Anyway, she was saying that it's not unprecedented to have uh, a mandate, a government mandate for this type of thing. And what I tried to impress upon her was that while that is true, we have certainly never prosecuted that mandate as a caveat for you keeping your employment with a private company. That is not something we've done. Okay. So this is why I encourage people to really take a good hard look. And look, I know for some that it's more challenging than others to really get your financial house in order. Look, if you got kids, you're in this environment. I just came from the grocery store a little while ago, and I intentionally, I usually take my credit card with me because I prefer to use my credit card as opposed to a debit card because it's more secure. But today I intentionally left my credit card home. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to spend a set amount of money. I transferred that amount onto my debit card, and I used maybe $1 less than that. So I didn't take my credit card. However, that amount was like $25 that I allocated to spend. And I'm always thinking about, wow, for that family with 2 to 3 kids, this trip to the grocery store is getting to be pretty expensive. So when you're talking about the ability to do things like that, to eat, all right, to heat your home, okay, to buy clothing for your children, you don't want to leave this solely in the hands of a company that you're employed by because they don't give a damn about you. All right. I can assure you of that. They, in many instances, care about solely the bottom line. And I know a lot of people might say, hey, well, the company's not supposed to care about you. Well, I don't subscribe to that. Now, I'm not saying that the company is supposed to act like they are your mother or your father or something like that. But employees are an important part of the equation in any company. So therefore, I would think that you would want the relationship with those employees to be go as swimmingly as possible. And if you're telling them to do things that they have demonstrated that they've made the decision that they don't want to do, then that's a problem. And the people over at Southwest are showing the airline that. Now, Southwest is saying that, oh, this has nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing. It's a lie. It's a bold-faced, damned lie. Otherwise, you'd see the other carriers experiencing the same thing. Weather, which is what they said over the weekend, weather does not say, oh, you know what? I'm just going to pick on Southwest Airlines. They're flying all over the country. I'm not going to, this wind shear, we're not going to mess with Delta. This is only for the Southwest planes. This is how stupid these people think you are. Okay? So, Southwest was down, and it's even down in the after hours trading. And good for them. Okay, so in the meantime, you need to take this as a lesson. Now it's a certain medication, but they're setting a precedent. In the future, who knows what else they could demand of you. And you might be the type of person that's already abided by this rule. You might have elected that this is for you, and you did it. And you may be saying, well, I can't understand why they are not complying. Well, think about something else that you might not want to comply with that the government mandates later on down the road. These things are precedent setting, and you have to be very, very careful about that. Work hard to acquire assets. Build up your financial fortitude so that you can be financially independent. Go back, watch a lot of the videos on this channel that talk about ideas. Watch the last video, I'm going to post it right here, that talks about why I ended my savings account, okay? You've got to get the highest rates of return possible in order for you to succeed out here, guys. All right, I'll talk to you soon.